What is up, my comic comrades? Donnie Cates Thor run is one of the many ongoing titles and or story arcs we've been covering here on the channel over the last few months. In fact, a little over a week ago, we talked about Thor finally battling the Black Winter. Well, today, we're going to pick up exactly where we left off in that episode with Thor issue 7, which dropped last week. And if you haven't watched our Thor Battles the Black Winter episode, I highly recommend you do. Link for that is going to be right here. And if you don't do that, or you haven't read the series for yourself, you're gonna be lost. As always, of course, there's gonna be spoilers for the entirety of this series thus far, so there's your warning. With that said, let's jump in to Thor issue 7. The issue starts off telling us about a small-time mechanic, Adam Aziz. We learn that he spent 9 years in federal prison for multiple accounts of aggravated assault and armed robbery. But those days are long behind him. He now fixes cars for people who can't afford to have their cars fixed. And while we continue to learn about Adam's backstory, a huge boom happens right next to his shop, to which Adam says, "Damn it, not again." And on the next page, it says Broxton, Oklahoma, where we get a full-page shot of Thor's hammer, which just made a crater in the ground. That's right, for whatever reason, Thor just chucked his hammer at Broxton, Oklahoma. Adam then runs to the spot where something just hit and then sees Thor's hammer, to which he says, "Lord help me, swear he'd lose his head if it wasn't screwed on so damn tight." And as he takes a closer look at the hammer, he goes, "What the, okay," and starts dialing a number on his phone. He then starts talking on the phone and tells the person, "You better get out here, I reckon." Then back on Asgard, Lady Sif is asking Thor, who's using a raven to communicate, "What the hell are you doing? Why have you thrown Mjolnir into Broxton again?" Thor replies, testing a theory. Sif then tells Thor, "You know Midgard makes these devices, little rectangles with magic to send words through the air. Quite popular. Loki has one." Thor replies, "I prefer the ravens." And Sif says, "The rectangle has games. Your filthy birds have no games." We are then taken to where Thor is, and he says, "I have enough on my plate today without your jokes. Now please, if you don't mind, keep me updated if anything happens." And while still giving him a hard time, Sif says, "Of course." She goes on to say, "Good luck at your meeting." And Thor says, "It'll be fine, thank you." We then see that Thor is having a meeting with Beta Ray Bill. It's kind of awkward because if you don't remember, a few issues back, Thor nearly beat Bill to death and destroyed his hammer, Stormbreaker. We actually did an episode on that, which you could find right here. In any case, Thor then says to Bill, "Thank you for coming. Will you sit?" And Bill replies, "Is that an order?" Thor replies to him and says, "No, God's no. I would like to have a drink with a friend, please." Bill then replies, "A drink does sound good, necessary. So what's been new with you? Anything interesting?" This causes Thor to think of the vision he saw at the end of issue 6, where Thanos returns holding Thor's hammer, imbued with the Infinity Gems, something we like to call the Infinity Hammer. But that's not the end of it. Thanos also has a Marvel zombie army behind him, and as Thor continues to daydream about the vision, Bill says, "Thor, I know it can be hard to tell by my stoic nature, but that was a joke. Are you well?" The two start making small talk, and Bill eventually says, "Now why don't you tell me why you've called me here, Thor? Or are we going to sit here and pretend you didn't beat me into the ground and shatter my hammer the last time we met?" Thor then just looks at Bill and says, "I need you to tell me about Thanos." We are then taken back to the crater in Oklahoma, where a reporter is saying, live on the scene, as what appears to be the hammer of Thor has once again fallen out of the sky here in Broxton, Oklahoma. As most of our viewers at home likely know, Thor and the town of Broxton have a long history together, ever since the supposed god of thunder brought the actual realm of Asgard to the city. And this, my friends, is why earlier in the issue, the mechanic Adam said, "Damn it, not again," when he saw Thor's hammer. Because way before Donnie Cates was on the Thor title back in 2007-ish, Thor, after his rebirth, had recreated the city of Asgard close to Broxton, making it the new home for the Asgardians. So the small town is very familiar with Thor and Asgard. Anyway, as the reporter is reporting, Iron Man shows up saying, "No pictures. Which one of you is Adam Aziz?" Adam says, "That'd be me, sir." The two then start walking towards the hammer, and Adam says, "I found it just like I told you. I was just working in my shop on this old pickup truck." And Iron Man then interrupts saying, yeah, sure. I don't care. I'm a little more concerned about how you managed to call me on my personal and very, very private home number." Adam then just points at the hammer and says, "Oh, well, I didn't mean to intrude. It was just..." Tony then looks at the hammer saying, "Oh, for the love of God." And then on the next page, we see that Thor wrote "Call Tony Stark" with his personal phone number on his hammer. Tony then says, "Damn it, Thor." Then while looking up at the sky screaming says, "This is not cool, you son of a..." And before Tony could finish his sentence, the comic takes us back to Asgard, where Thor is looking at Tony screaming at him, laughing, saying, "That'll teach you to write on my hammer, you armored jackass." If you guys aren't aware of what Thor is referring to, in issue 1 of this series, Thor threw his hammer from Asgard to Earth to help the Avengers defeat a monster. But before Thor called his hammer back to him, Tony wrote on it with Sharpie saying, "Nice shot, enjoy your retirement." So this is Thor's way of getting back at him. It's a pretty funny callback. Thor then tells Bill to take a walk with him as Bill tells Thor about Thanos. Bill then says, "It happened when I was with the Guardians of the Galaxy. Hela had collected the severed dead parts of Thanos in order to resurrect him. And meanwhile, Thanos had uploaded his consciousness into his brother Arris as a backup in case he died. Together, they sought to join the body and soul to bring the Mad Titan back from the beyond. Thor says, "Is it possible then?" And Bill says, "No, because I hammered a black hole into his undead chest. I saw him and Hela both implode into nothing with my own eyes. I assure you, Thor, Thanos is no more." To which Thor says, "Aye, very well then." Thor goes on to tell Bill, "I have seen a vision. Something is coming, Bill. Something is wrong with me, with Asgard, with fate. Bill, I have called you here for a reason. There may come a time, perhaps soon, I may have to step away from the throne. I fear I cannot trust myself these days, and I will need you at my side, if I fall, if I am corrupted. Bill, I am asking you, will you be my second in command? Act when I cannot. Will you lead the armies of Asgard as their master of war?" And Bill says, "Well, I will need a hammer." Thor replies, "I thought you might say that," as he takes him to an armory saying, "Choose any instrument you like, or two, or a dozen, or I will have the dwarves make you something to your liking." Bill then looks at all the weapons saying, "Thor, where's Mjolnir?" Thor then says, "Oh yes, that. I told you, Bill, something is wrong." We are then taken back to Oklahoma, where Tony is trying to calm down the crowd surrounding the hammer, while Adam looks closely at the hammer. And all this is happening with captions of Thor still talking to Bill on Asgard, saying, "I have sensed it for too long, something broken inside of Mjolnir, and for too long I have tried to ignore it, to run from it, to cast it out of my mind. Today I will run no more. Today I will face it. Mjolnir has grown heavier since I have taken the throne." And at this point, Iron Man throws a force field around the hammer, while Adam keeps getting closer to the hammer. Thor's captions go on to say, "Even though I do not know how this is possible, I believe I know why. In my heart, I know it's true. I have feared that I would soon be unable to lift Mjolnir, that somehow it has grown tired of me, or that I have again become unworthy. But the truth is much worse. It is not only that I struggle to lift Mjolnir, it is also that everyone else does not," as we see Adam reach his hand out and lift Mjolnir, transforming into Thor, saying, "The hell," as the comic ends. That's right, my comic comrades. Apparently, as of issue 7 of Donnie Cates Thor run, anyone can now lift Mjolnir, as the cover of this issue basically gave away. This is all kinds of nuts. It also explains why Thanos was able to hold Thor's hammer in his vision. I am so very curious to see where this goes, and I think there's so many cool things you could do with this story-wise now that anyone could lift Thor's hammer. I'm 100% in. I know there's gonna be a lot of purists out there that are like, "This is stupid, this is dumb, I don't want it." And that's fine, everyone has their own opinion. But if us diehard fans have learned anything reading comics over the years, it's that you have to let writers finish their stories before you can judge their decisions and actions. Plus, I know for me personally, I've been enjoying the hell out of Cates Thor run so far, so I trust him. But what do you guys think of the decision to let almost anyone lift Mjolnir? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Let us know in the comment section down below. And just like that, my comic comrades, that brings yet another episode of Variant to a close. But if you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to check out that one right here. And if you like all of our videos, be sure to subscribe, like, and comment. It helps us out. But I will see you guys next time when I talk about all things comics.